You seem like you purposely want to set up this dichotomy between, oh, this is a blue state and that's a red state. Yeah. And I don't want to live in that country. I like Florida.
I'm with you. And by the way,
Bill Maher sat down with Gavin Newsom on his show Real Time with Bill Maher. And he actually cornered Gavin Newsom on a couple of different topics, especially the DI topic. Now, a lot of people out there will think that Bill Maher's guest right here, Gavin Newsom, is going to run for president in the next election. A lot of people think that. I also think that, and I think he has a good chance of winning the Democratic nomination. And Bill Maher is obviously still a Democrat even though he's waking up. He probably does want the Democrats to win in his mind, and he wants to make sure that the best candidate gets put forward. And so in this clip right here, Bill Maher is cornering Gavin Newsom on the DI topic and many other topics. Let's check it out. Let's get into this clip where Bill Maher corners Gavin Newsom on Real Time with Bill Maher.
Not this year, we know. No, I know. But he said, I don't think he could win. I don't think he could win. He's too progressive coming from this state and what he's done in this state to win in any southern state, any red state. I disagreed, but no, this is a progressive African-American owned station, and I'm sure they like you, but he doesn't think you can win. What do you say to that if you could win look at the swing states, there's only 8 of them.
Right. Well, I mean, California is an interesting case study, isn't it? It's the size of 21 state populations combined.
Yeah.
2/3 of the state is very deeply red. We don't need to be lectured on rural politics or border issues. I mean, in so many ways, these are familiar issues, and the issues of the heartland of the United States are very much a part and parcel of the work we're doing in this state. But look, I understand this notion that you're from the coast, you don't understand those things. You can't talk the language. You're not able to communicate. And you're not able to actually encourage and find that common ground.
No, it's stuff like there's a new law in this. I think we have way too many regulations and laws, as we've talked about. And this one, I think, says if you're a department store with over 500 employees, you have to have a gender-neutral toy department.
Yeah.
Stuff like that.
Yeah, I get it.
So do you think that's silly? Do you think that's a silly thing that we too much government there?
Now he's going to enter politician mode because he doesn't think that's ridiculous. Obviously, Bill Maher thinks that's completely ridiculous. That's why Bill Maher is cornering Gavin Newsom on this, and obviously the Real Time with Bill Maher audience thinks that's ridiculous, and everybody out there with a working human brain thinks that's ridiculous. But they do it because they simply love having more control over people. It's an authoritarian approach. They want to hold as much power as they possibly can and push that power onto the population. And that's exactly what Gavin Newsom does in California. And no, he doesn't think that's ridiculous, Bill. Unfortunately, we have people out there like this whose thinking is completely distorted, like Gavin Newsom's. And they genuinely don't think that's ridiculous.
Department stores came to us supporting that. And they were the ones making a case for that. They were making a case, they're already moving in that direction.
Wanted you to make a law about them?
Well, but they supported the legislation. It wasn't legislation that was enacted, that was initiated from my office, but it was legislation that came up with interesting support from the industry itself. But I understand how that's exploited, and good people can disagree. But that's not something we woke up and said, this is a top priority for the state, when we know what the top priorities are: homelessness, housing, the issues of crime, quality of life, and issues related to regulation and taxes, which are all top of mind. But I get how those things are weaponized.
All right. So, one, I got you here, because I live here and I'm not going anywhere. So I just want to make this a better state like everybody else.
Man.
And good job this year making it rain.
You're welcome.
That was my legislative priority.
It was looking bad there for a while, and we still don't have enough water in the Colorado River and all this stuff.
Yeah.
And then whenever I read 80% of the water goes to agriculture. Almonds.
Right.
No one ever asked you about almonds? Oh, I'm going to ask you about almonds. We grow a boatload of almonds.
I'm well aware.
You know how much water it takes?
Many gallons.
1,900 gallons to grow a pound of almonds. Yeah. Come on, man. Take on big almonds.
Take on big almonds.
I mean, it's not like we got.
That is pretty wild. I honestly had no idea. Did he say 1,900 gallons to grow just 1 pound of almonds? That is honestly a crazy amount. I mean, I'm no farming expert, but that honestly seems like an enormous amount of water. And if California is essentially the main supplier of almonds for the United States, they need a massive amount of water, which they simply don't have. Unfortunately, Gavin Newsom cannot make it rain. And I'm sure there are plenty of people in California who are completely convinced that Gavin Newsom can make it rain, and whenever it does rain, they're probably giving Gavin Newsom full credit for it. Fortunately, he cannot make it rain. But that's a really interesting point that Bill Maher raises. I honestly can't believe the water situation is that extreme.
No.
You're right about it. It's not that we don't have the water. That said, the last couple of years were tough. I mean, but it's also where the water's falling and we're not capturing it. And we're not capturing those extreme years with these atmospheric rivers. Wets are getting a lot wetter, dry's drier, hot's getting a lot hotter. And so we've got to modernize our conveyance system. We've got to modernize our storage, not just above ground, but below ground. And so that's a big part of our focus and frame, including desalinization plants. We have 20 projects just on desal that we're working on today. So we put out a detailed water strategy that includes, by the way, getting that Delta Conveyance project back up and operational, and includes the first above ground off stream storage facility in half a century in the state, which, by the way, is being aided by a regulatory package I pushed forward to reduce red tape in the state of California and address the permitting quagmires that you rightfully pointed out.
See here.
You're good at this.
What?
Hey, I'm telling you, you're good at this job. Okay, but but here's
I feel like the last couple of years you've purposely picked this fight with the red states. I mean, the but I don't want to live in the Civil War country.
I agree with that.
You know what?
Well,
but you seem like you purposely want to set up this dichotomy between, this is a blue state and that's a red state. And I don't want to live in that country. I like Florida.
I'm with you. And by the way, I like Florida as well. I like all these states. I completely agree. I don't want to have a state of mind that's
Yes, you absolutely do. Come on. Did you see how uncomfortable Gavin Newsom got right there? He literally started shifting in his seat while Bill Maher was calling him out directly. That's what I love to see from Bill Maher. And that's why over the last 2 or 3 years, I have gained so much respect for Bill Maher because he's willing to challenge these people, not just through his monologues on his show. He's willing to bring them on and confront them directly in real time. Now, Gavin Newsom is a skilled politician, let's be real. I don't mean skilled in the sense that his policies are good, but he's really talented at talking his way out of tough situations. So he's going to talk his way out of this. He's going to charm his way through it, make the audience laugh, all that stuff. But Bill Maher knows the truth. Bill Maher knows that this guy would not be good for the country. And that's why he's calling him out on exactly that kind of thing. You're going to create more division in this country if you win. If you get more power, if you get more influence, all you want is division. It's the left versus the right. The left has always viewed this situation, and they have always treated this thing like a football game. And the right wing does this sometimes too. No doubt about it. They treat this like a sporting event. It's my side versus yours, and I reject everything your side says simply because it came from your side. It shouldn't be like that. Real people aren't that polarized, you know. They're not so divided that they 100% agree with everything their assigned side is supposed to believe. And they hate everything the other side says. And that's not how anyone genuinely thinks. The only reason people think that way is because they treat it like some kind of sporting event, my side versus yours. It should simply come down to how can we all work together. And I know this sounds like a lollipops and rainbows mindset, but we should be working toward a place where both sides can hold disagreements, but still work together to make the country better. Not attack the other side simply because it's the other side every single time. And that's what Gavin Newsom represents. And I'm glad Bill Maher is holding him accountable for that.
So much. We've been polarized and traumatized. There's been a tough 5-6 years across the globe, not just in this country. That said, I'm not going to sit back and watch. You made the point just a moment ago in your monologue. You got folks out there trying to bring us back to a pre-1960s world. America in reverse, rolling back voting rights, LGBTQ rights, women's rights, not just access to abortion, but contraception. I mean, it's a profound and consequential moment. And you could sit by and say, well, I really want to get along as these guys are rolling back the clock, or you can stand tall and assert yourself. And the reason I started to go into those red states, the reason I started to take on DeSantis, and the reason I started doing ads in these red states is I didn't feel my party was doing enough. It was CRT one year, then it's ESG, and it's DEI. Anything with 3 letters, these guys keep coming, and they're shape-shifting. And they're trying.
Wow, what an impressive pivot by Gavin Newsom. Now he's going after the left wing for pushing DEI and things like that. Give me a break. This guy pushed all of that just as much, if not more than everybody else. All of those woke 3-letter movements that he just mocked, he was pushing those just as hard as anyone else out there. But now that the tide has shifted, now that people like Bill Maher are really going after him and people like him for pushing those things, now he's suddenly saying, let me get on everybody's good side and say the things that sound good right now on Real Time with Bill Maher. Let me know in the comments what you guys think about what Bill Maher had to say to Gavin Newsom. What do you think about his responses? Do you think Gavin Newsom is going to run? If so, do you think he will win the Democratic nomination?